I'm a partner and director at Just Right Scotland. That means I'm a human rights lawyer and I work in immigration and EU law, helping European citizens achieve status in the UK. Now, this event is about immigration and EU law, and it brings together lawyers and academics and members of the advice agency for the Parliament to talk about the distinctions between criminality and deportation and how that applies. For me, it's important because it's an opportunity to tell people about how the provisions work on the ground. So what happens in my casework to individuals when they're applied in specific cases. But it's also an opportunity to stop kind of the hurly-burly of practice and hear from academics and their reflections about how the law might change. And it's an opportunity for all of us to actually influence the thinking of each other, whether our role is in Parliament providing information, or as academics thinking about a useful piece of work to do, or as practitioners looking for ideas on novel legal arguments. So I'm glad that this has been hosted by the University of Edinburgh and by SPICE, and it does give us that valued space to reflect.
I think events like today are really important because it allows me as a practitioner working on the ground with clients and in the courts to come together with academics and other policy specialists to share ideas, to share information, and really to pull together that academic research, that knowledge of policy with my experience in the courts and on the grounds. And I think pulling that together benefits everyone here today.
I think they're really important because there's quite a lot of misinformation about immigration law out in the public domain, and there's strongly held views on either side. It's quite an intensely political subject, and it's only through events like today where you're actually looking at what the law is and how it works that you can then consider what should change and why it should change. Because I think a lot of the time changes are advocated for without understanding what the current system actually is. It's quite a good project to allow for collaboration between criminal lawyers and immigration lawyers, I think, and I'm quite in favour of that. I think that the takeaway from today is really that criminal law and immigration law overlap quite a lot, and really as an immigration lawyer I need to be more aware of what criminal practitioners are doing, just as criminal practitioners need to be aware of what immigration practitioners are doing.
So from today, I hope to take away some new ideas about how to think about the work that I do. I also hope to have some practical suggestions from my colleagues in Parliament and from academics that I can share with my colleagues in terms of our strategy for new litigation going forward, and maybe the limited time that we have to engage in policy, our strategy around what to push for.
I think there's an awful lot to take away from today's discussion. Some of the sessions we've heard from the academics and the policymakers have made me think again about the strategies I approach and strategies I adopt in individual cases, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into the office and to looking at some of my files afresh.